Good afternoon. This is Skip, KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta. I'm out at Cumberland Valley Sports League here in Corbin. Yeah, that's the gun club. And we're going to do a little ham radio. Going to do a little experimenting. I want to build something that, to be honest, I've never built before. I've built a few antennas. All of them have been dipoles. This is going to be an end-fed half wave. And I built this one from the ground up. I built the 49-to-1 Unnen. We're going to find out if that works okay. And then we're going to cut the wire to build it. And we're going to put a radio on the air and see what goes on. Cumberland Valley Sports League, the gun club, we're kind of getting into ham radio out here. And why? Because that aligns with the values of Cumberland Valley Sports League. Cumberland Valley Sports League, we're outdoorsmen. And some of us are interested in communications at work where a cell phone doesn't and radio does. So let's get going, and we're going to kind of get our stuff out. We've got our tools out, radio in the box there, and we're going to get started right here at the flagpole. First thing we got to do is stretch this wire out to 132 feet. We're probably going to cut it about 133 feet and go to tuning from there. So here we go. KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta at Cumberland Valley Sports League in Corbin. All right, the first thing is we got to measure out 132 feet. Got a 200-foot tape that I normally use to appraise houses with. So we're going to walk out here a ways till we get there. We're at 99 feet. I'll go a little further. Hope nobody comes because we're going over the road here. It'll be laying on the bottom. Maybe they'll run over the top of it, won't catch it. Well, there's 142 feet, so somewhere between here and the stone we got enough room. You'll kind of pick that up, stretch it a little. Now this end-fed half wave is supposed to solve a little bit of a problem that a dipole has. A dipole, you have to cut the wires to length, and there's a lot of science involved in it. Basically, there's a formula. A dipole is a half wavelength, and each leg on it is half of a half, and you have to figure out how many feet that is based upon the wavelength of the band that you're transmitting on. So if you're doing 40 meters, you take 40 meters, divide it by 2, that's 20 meters, and divide that by 2 again, that's 10 meters. So you got to have 10 meters on each side. Well, I'm not European, I'm not Chinese, and I'm not Japanese. I speak feet and inches. So if you take 10 meters and multiply it by about 3.23 or something like that feet per meter, you'll come up with about 33 feet, somewhere in that neighborhood. Somewhere between 32 and 33 feet. And so that's the way I cut my dipoles. For this end-fed half wave, the directions say to cut it at 132 feet. And so for ham radio, you don't need any kind of special wire on this HF type stuff. This is just regular house wire that you can buy at any hardware store, regular THNM wire. I'm gonna have to have us a knife here to cut it open and loosen it. This is actually 14 gauge. On my dipoles, I've been using 10 gauge. Now, it doesn't really, as far as the communications part goes, it doesn't really matter what gauge you use. The length is the determining factor. That said, the heavier gauge wire you use, the broader the bandwidth that antenna will accommodate. So in other words, if you were cutting one in the 40-meter band, which is a frequency of 7.1 to 7.3 megahertz, that's where you get your 32 feet. Well, if you're using, say, 20 gauge wire, 20 gauge wire might not do the entire band. The 10 gauge wire that I've been using, that for 40 meters, that seems to do the entire band. It also seems to do the entire band on 20 meters. And that's why I choose to go with a heavier wire, just for the fact that it can accommodate a wider band. And boy, I tell you what, they've sure got the plastic on this wire. If we can figure out how to get into the wire, we'll get started. Okay, we got our wire loose. Now on this unning, I want to attach my wire to here. Now if I use a ground counterpoise, I would attach it down here. I'm not going to use that today, for the simple reason I didn't bring a ground rod with me, and I want to see how it does without one and kind of go from there. So we're going to go in here and get our pliers and kind of strip this wire down a little. Okay, got a notch cut out of her. I'm gonna stick it in there, and I tell you what, I bought me a set of these, and I sure do like them. They're ratcheting. They're not like them things that require you to hold your mouth just right. You put that wire in there and kind of lean on them. I know that's bad for them. They say it'll eventually bend the jaws or bust the jaws one. So far it hadn't. But that's where we're going with that. And so we need something to tie this off to weigh it down. We got another spool of wire here. We'll do it with that. Set this over here. This is our marker here at the Cumberland Valley Sports League. It's here at the flagpole base. It's a marker for the members that have passed away over the years. Been several of those. Which reminds me, I need to call George because we need to get it upgraded. Need to add some names to it. Alright, we got that set there. We'll head off out through here. Backing up 132 feet's a long ways. Guess what? I forgot to get the cutters. I've been into radio myself a long time. I started in commercial radio right before I turned 16. I was 15 years old. Rode my bicycle to work for a couple of weeks and turned 16 and worked commercial radio all through high school. And then when I got into college, University of Alabama, I worked a couple of stations down there. There's 113. I worked for a very short time for the University of Alabama station as a volunteer, and I learned that don't work out too good. They work you to death and kind of don't appreciate you very much, and they don't pay you either. But I went out down there and got a real job worked at a station called WAQT, Carrollton, Alabama. We were a Class C FM, 100,000 watts at 1,100 feet on a tower, and simulcasted at nights with another station in Forest, Mississippi, which is south of Jackson. Had an overnight trucking show. They called it From the Alabama River to the Mississippi River. We take a lot of them truckers on their run on 59 and 20 coming across. It's fun times. Had Bill Curry call me one time on the way home from a football game, and got to talk to the possum once. He called me from his bus, from a truck stop in Tuscaloosa, and think me we were playing. I think that was about the time that the song "Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes" came out. And I did an oldies country show back then. We didn't play anything newer than 1980, with the exception of George Strait. But I was in the middle of that show when the possum called, which was kind of neat. All right, put a wire up here. This other wire. Okay. Now the way I choose to terminate these wires, put this thing on there. It's just a it's a non-conductive, it's an insulator piece of PVC pipe, real simple. And what we're going to do when we put the wire on the onion, we're going to have to anchor it somewhere. We're going to have to tie it down. And so it's got two holes in it. Got a hole for the cord, bungee cord that I use to hold it down, or not bungee cord, whatever you call that, paracord. And then got a hole up here to put the wire through, and got a clamp. And that's how I clamp the wire. That way you can adjust it. Anytime you're fooling with a HF antenna, you have to get it in the sweet spot. You have to be able to test it and get it to where it works. And that means changing the length of this wire. The length of this wire is absolutely critical. And so there's got to be some way to connect the rope to it, and then hold it and fix it where it's adjustable, where you can adjust the length. And these things seem to work pretty good. This little Chinese one ain't seem like wanting to tighten is easy. Seems like it might be stripped or not put in there correctly. That's kind of what you expect out of Chinese made stuff. They don't seem to have a lot of care over there about how they manufacture things. But that's the price we pay for somebody's envision of global, I don't know, whatever it is. That'll give us a start. That'll anchor it. We'll throw it over here out of the road. That way somebody can come in here and not run over it. And then we'll pick up our tape, wind it up. right, that's got that took care of. I'm gonna go put this plastic in the trash can before it blows away. Scatters all over somewhere, and then we gotta go fetch it out of the field somewhere. We try to keep the gun club as clean as we can. I've been on the board out here for about 25 years. Got a really nice facility. If you want to join Cumberland Valley Sports League, the first year costs you $175, and after that it's $75 a year. We've got the range. We've got a rifle range, pistol range. Got a nice shed to be under to shoot, get in the shade or stay out of the rain. We've got the clubhouse facilities that are available. We've got restrooms, cold water that we keep out here. If you get one, you're supposed to put 50 cents or whatever in the jar, but that's kind of how we operate out here. All right, I'll kind of show you the innards of this thing that I built. And like I said, this is the first one of these I built, so I'm not sure that it'll work. I'm not even sure it'll work. I'm not sure that it's built right. This is a learning experience for me. It's supposed to be a 9-to-1 onion is what it's supposed to be. And we're going to put it up, tie a wire to it, anchor the wire down, then we're going to test it, see how we did. You can see inside it basically is a coil. The wire passes through it 12 times this way and 2 times this way, and it grounds out. Like I said, if I had the counterpoise on the ground plane, I'd hook it to this screw down here. But I'm just going to hook the wire up this afternoon and see how that works. And we're going to see how all this works. Like I said, I make no guarantees that this even will work. And you know how experiments go. A lot of times you do an experiment like this and you come out here to test it and it just plain don't work. And then you have to go back to the drawing board. But hopefully, kind of, it comes to this ham radio stuff. Google seems to be your friend. YouTube. I've watched several people build one of these things. Now I don't have mine anchored down. Most of the ones that you see built, they anchor the coil. They anchor it down in some kind of silicone type stuff. Keep it from bouncing around, going down the road or being carried around. And if this works out, we'll do that. If it don't work out, we'll be taking it back apart and working on it some more. We'll screw this little box back together. And you know what I did? I left my baling here the last time I was here. That kind of dumb, wasn't it? Oh, don't say it over there. Alright. We're going to hang you on here. Right there. And we're going to take this right here. that baling I had hanging here, that was from my dipole. Apparently last time I was here I forgot to hook it off the flagpole. Now this flagpole's handy as a dickens. The only bad thing about using this flagpole is it's metal, and so it can and does to a certain degree affect your antenna. I would rather it be wood, and we're in talks here in the club. We're gonna get somebody to put us up a couple of telephone poles out here with pulleys on, and that way we'll have a wood thing to work with. All right. Now, we've got that kind of put together. Put our pliers back up, whichever hole they come out of, and that thing. And put the wire back in the toolbox. Put this up, we might need it here in a minute. Alright, now we got to connect coax to this thing so that we connect it to the radio once we get it run up the flagpole. Get that little connector there that's installed in our 49-to-1 unit. And we'll go out here and unwind this. This is about 50 foot of coax, and the flagpole is roughly 36 or 7 feet tall. I'm sure that was a 40-foot pole, and every one of it's in the ground. But there's plenty of coax here to go to the top of the flagpole for sure. There we go with that. Got that unrolled. And the only thing I see here that I really don't like, and I'm gonna run this wire over on this side. Reason being, there's power lines up there coming across. And although I won't get into the power lines with this, I'll keep it below them. That might affect my transmission, because you'll have that 60 cycle electric going through them power lines. I always had an interest in ham radio, and I know back when I was in school, when I was working for radio stations, particularly the one in Alabama, I started out in electrical engineering, and I did a little bit of engineering there. Probably did some things that the FCC wouldn't have been happy with, but kind of when you're stationed out in the country, that's kind of what you do. You get what you get. And but anyway, back then, to be a licensed ham, you had to be able to do Morse code. And I'll be honest, I have no interest whatsoever in ever doing Morse code. That's not my kind of deal. And that single thing kind of made me really not want to be a ham back then. And then somewhere along the way, they eliminated that requirement. And some say, well, it made it easier. It made it where everybody could get one. Well, that might be a good thing. The other thing is, they've added a bunch of stuff that's come along since then. A lot of it having to do with digital communications that didn't exist back in the Morse code days, or at least not to the extent that they do today. And I don't know that the Morse code was any more difficult than some of these digital things that you have to know today to get your license. So I got licensed in September last year, I believe it was August or September, and got my technician license, which gives you UHF and VHF. And then I came along a couple months later and passed my general exam, and I now have a ham extra license, which gives me access to all ham bands. And so that's where we are today. The radio that I use, and this is something that I built this rig to do, is a Yaesu 991A. I built this little carrier deal to put it in, it and its speaker. 991A, it's a pretty neat little radio. It'll do UHF, VHF, and high frequency as well. Hams call these a shack in the box. Used to you had to have two radios to do. Had to have one radio to do VHF and UHF, and had to have another one to do the high frequency work. They built these little things. Yaesu's got this one, and then they've got a newer, updated version. It's a little more expensive. I bought this one used. It works just fine. It does the job. No complaints so far. And I figured as a learning experience, which that's what I'm doing, I'm learning. I'm by no means an expert. You get these guys like Will Jones has been licensed for 50 years and knows a whole lot more than I do. It's not a learning experience for them, but it's a learning experience for me. And I figured if I tore up a used radio, that'd be one thing. If I tore up a brand new one, I'd really cry. Kind of like getting that first car, that first pickup truck when you was in high school. Your daddy knew you was going to wreck it, tear it up, and I don't know about nowadays. It's kind of different, but back then you didn't get the newest stuff in the family. You got the hand-me-downs. But inside this big box, I built a power barn for my radio. It's got a couple of car batteries in it. Well, they're not car batteries, they're marine lithium marine batteries. And I've got a charger in there for them. You plug an extension cord in there and that charges the batteries. And then this plug right here is to plug in power for a radio. Got a couple other plugs on the other side of it. That's where you could plug in lights or whatever you would need. And got a voltmeter. Will Jones gave me that little voltmeter and installed it. We can check the voltage on our batteries. Looks like they're both good, a little over 13 volts. And so we'll start raising our onion. It's like raising the American flag in the morning. we had a bugler out here to blow reveille, we'd be doing good, I guess. And it matters on these how high above the ground you get them. That affects their resonant frequency. And the resonant frequencies on this thing is what frequencies does it work best at? You're shooting for your what's called your standing wave to be a 1-to-1 ratio. You don't want it to get much above that. You could go to a 2-to-1 and things still work out for you, but higher than 2-to-1, you'll damage your radio. And the fortunate thing is, on a 991A, they have a built-in tuner on it, so they'll accommodate a little bit of standing wave and be able to tune it without having the external tuner. Okay, so we've got this puppy on to the top of the flagpole, and we're going to go out here with a rope, hammer. All this is a tent stake, so we're going to run out here. Somehow we're going to tie off this end of this antenna out here. We're going to see how it lays. Like I said, I run it this way to get it away from the power lines, and I ended up having to run it underneath the metal roof on the shed, and we'll see how that works out. It may work, it may not work. It's just something we're going to have to look into and see what's going on. Looks like we've got some kind of crap bird roosting here. Kind of need to put us a lighter in the kit. That way we can burn the end of this rope. Now, like I said, the idea behind this end-fed half wave, at this length, that wire is supposed to be able to do 15 meters, 20 meters, 80 meters, 40 meters, and I think 60, but I'm not sure. But we'll check it with our, we've got a meter out there in the toolbox. We'll get that hooked up here in a minute. Check to see where we're at. Alright, when you think you got enough rope, peel off a little extra. You can always cut some more off, but you can't have none to it. And this might not be the only place we ever anchor to while you do that. Next place might have to have a longer run. I've run into that before. This is not, I'm the kind of ham that likes to get my radio out of the shack. I say that's what happens when you give a radio license to hunter and fisherman. You get somebody that wants to go out in the woods and do something. And I like to figure out how to make things work. Make things work with what I have to work with. You know, if all of our communications went down, cell phones and Facebook, telephone, everything we had went down, that's where you'd be. You'd be trying to figure out how to make it work with what you had. You know, it wouldn't be one of them deals where, well, we ain't got one of these, we'll order it from DX Engineering and it'll be here in 4 or 5 days through the UPS man. That might not be workable. You might have to make do with what you got. So we got that up. We'll ease back over here. And I did already screw that coax in the back. The back of the radio, which I should have done until I checked the SWR. So alright, there's our meter, Comet 500 antenna analyzer. Screw that in on the HF side. And we might want to go get us a pair of eyeballs where we can see what we're doing. You have to do that when you get old. And you guys don't all tell me you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll turn around. There we go. All right. A little bit high, just a hair. Man, we're good on 40 meters. Look at that. Look at that right there, what we got on 40 meters. A little bit high on 20, but I may be able to tune that out of it. So let's hook it up to the radio and see what the tuner will do. You get into 40 meters, you stay away from the 7200. That's where the nuts are. I generally go up here to the 7230. That's the wing nut frequency. See if anybody's home. I don't hear anybody. And when you get into ham radio, it's not like a CB. There's not channels. There's frequencies. And, you know, like a CB, the channels vary in frequency, but the CB only transmits on 40 different channels, 40 different frequencies. And they're already programmed into the radio. A ham radio, they're not programmed in. You kind of got to seek out where there might be some activity. And there's just long stretches on these radios.
Did you have it grounded? But it's got ground wires at the bottom, at the base of the tower. Yeah, well that ain't gonna stop a near strike anyway. You take a direct hit, it don't matter what it is. That direct hit will show you that whatever you do don't work. That's right. Even just a near strike.
This is Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. Do you guys care if I jump in with you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm at Cumberland Valley Sports League Portable, Corbin, Kentucky, and built a M-Fed half wave and put it up, and just seeing how it's doing and where it's getting out to.
Okay, well, I've got about an S6 on you, and my call is Kilo 4 Whiskey Papa Yankee. Name is Mike, and I'm in Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
Okay, I believe I've talked to you before, Mike.
Okay, your signal took a nosedive right in the mud. The band's in horrible shape today.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that. I put this thing up out here at the gun club, and I've got the tail end of the M-Feds underneath the shed, underneath the firing line, and I was wondering if that metal roof might be messing with it too.
Yeah, well, you know, get that thing up high as you can. You'll reach out there a lot better.
I got the onion up on our flagpole. It's about 37, 38 feet in the air, but running 132 feet of wire out here is a little bit of a chore.
Yeah, signal's up and down like a roller coaster today. The band's in horrible shape.
Well, I appreciate you coming back to me, and I'll let you guys get back to you QSO. This is Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta from Cumberland Valley Sports League in Corbin, Kentucky.
Okay, Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. Come on back when you can. K4 WPY, Mike, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. We listen.
11, okay, we've got it. Roger's the book. Thank you. Could you make a general net call and see if maybe you can pick up stations I don't see? Over.
All right, very good. This is November 8 Oscar Yankee relaying for the net control. Do we have anybody who wants to check into the 8th region net track that can hear me?
This is Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. This is Skip, Corbin, Kentucky, Cumberland Valley Sports League Portable.
Okay, very good. We have a station in Kentucky, Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. Did you copy him?
Yes, I did read him. Thank you. Kilo Romeo 4 Golf Whiskey Delta. Do you have any traffic for the 8th region net? Over.
Okay, I'm just out at the gun club out here, run an antenna, new to me, M-Fed half wave. I built the onion and run it up the flagpole and just checking it out to see where I'm getting out to, how much range I've got.
All right, very good. Yep, it's working. The band conditions are not good at all. So don't judge your performance on the conditions of the band right now. I can assure you that. All right, thank you. N8OYY, would you make one more general net call for me, and then we'll wrap it. Over.
Absolutely, sure will. We're relaying for 8th region net.